Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host, your Chantele Francis, here to talk with me about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 12, episode 5. It is Rachna. How are
Hi.
you today, Rachna?
My
Hi.
allergies are hurting, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I have a lot of things going on today, but I'm happy to talk about this episode with you. Like I've been saying so far, it's way more enjoyable, even though they really do flog a dead horse. Like
Yeah.
they just beat a storyline to death.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an annoying one, but less annoying, but more entertaining than New Jersey for sure.
100%. And I'm still trying to figure out why. Maybe it's because they're a little bit glitzier. Maybe it's because I know them as people better. I don't know. Maybe because they're richer. I don't know. There's something that's more entertaining about it.
Yeah. I
But I
agree.
agree. Like they need to find another storyline.
Well, they really do. And the thing is, we don't really even know what the storyline is.
Yes, we're gonna get into that for sure. We do start off the episode with, I guess, a different angle. We see Garcelle with her sister Chantele,
Yeah.
and they're looking at a teardown that she purchased that's on the beach that she intends to fix up and then have it for her children for the future. So I thought that was a really nice to see that
Oh,
she's
that's
kind of
so
building
cool.
her legacy. And I'm like, I want a beach house.
Yeah. Well,
It
maybe
was
one
really
of
cool. Like when I was younger, my dad kind of had like it wasn't like a full beach house, but I can't remember exactly what. But we had a home on the beach, and like waking up and like just like going on the beach in the morning and like rollerblading on the boardwalk was actually a really cool lifestyle. It was like my summer life when I was like 14.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Sounds pretty cool. I didn't love LA though in general, but like beach life, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Not a bad life. And I was kind of like, maybe that's a goal I need to have. Like, why do I live in snow?
Well, I don't live here for much longer, so
I mean,
you
I
know how
you
I
know
feel
my
about
thoughts
that.
about the I don't know how you feel about rain, but it really does rain a lot and I was very depressed. So just get a sad lamp.
I actually don't mind the rain.
I thought I
As
didn't.
long as it's like not I mean, I grew up I mean, I lived in New Zealand before I moved here,
Oh,
which
okay.
is very similar to BC climate. So,
Okay. But I would suggest getting a sad lamp. It was I like
okay.
it did rain once for 58 days straight. And I was
Oh,
just like not even one wink of sunshine.
yeah, that's sounds hard.
It was really depressing. But I think that if you are used to that kind of climate, you're going to have a great time. The air smells really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
So they go to a restaurant. So we had a lot of restaurants this episode. So maybe we'll just keep up our hospitality heroes because that's all they did was have a scene talking about the same issue at
Yeah.
a restaurant.
Yeah.
So this one was between Reet Erica, my absolute two least favorite people.
Yeah.
They both have an Iswa salad and an Arnold Palmer, which is lemonade and iced tea. Is
And they
she just
both
trying to show that she's not drinking? I didn't even understand why I'll have an Arnold Palmer.
yeah, I
Okay.
feel like Arnold I feel like they're making a comeback.
I
Um
mean, they're good.
yeah, they're fine. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe she
Do you
is
know
trying to make
what? It's probably because in America, they have bad iced tea. Because like I mean, it's its own thing. It's just like brewed iced tea, like it's legit iced tea. And there's
yeah.
no lemon, there's no sugar, like it's just brewed like orange pico or something. And but our iced tea tends to be, I don't know, brisk or
Mhm.
nesty.
Yeah.
And so it's already sweetened and it usually has a lemon flavor in it. So maybe when you put the lemonade with this unsweetened iced tea, like iced tea, it tastes like what we're used to. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I think so.
Because yeah, I mean it's fine and a fine beverage, but like for it to be making a comeback, I'm like Arnold Palmer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean I like a Niçoise salad though, so
Wait, I have
I'm
a
happy
question
with
for
that.
you though. You speak French, right? You speak French fluently? Is
Enough,
it
yeah.
is it Niçois or Niçoise?
I would think it would be. I would say Niçois, but there
You
is
would?
an E on
Okay.
the end. I think I would. Wait,
Okay.
est-ce que je peux avoir une salade niçoise? No, niçoise.
I would say Niçoise, but I'm
Yeah,
not
there's an
fluent
E
in
on the end.
French. I only yeah. But
If there
both of
wasn't
them,
an E, then no. Hmm?
yeah, both of them said Niçois, which
Maybe they spelled it incorrectly on the menu, right? Like,
yeah,
well, remember when we were watching, um, or maybe we weren't watching it together. It was Housewives of Atlanta, I think, and her business that she was making was called Le Le Artifact or Le Artifact, and it's like it would never be Le Artifact ever
yeah,
with an
right,
apostrophe.
right.
So, yes, Niçoise has an E on the end. You would pronounce the S. If there
Yeah.
was no E, it would be Niçois.
I
But
just feel like
maybe it was a misspelling.
Dorit and Erica should know better,
Faking,
but
faking
whatever.
excellence. You think they should know better? I think that they're very pedestrian. That
Well, doesn't
thinks
Dorit
because
speak
they
like
have money makes them rich.
maybe
Yeah,
French
maybe
isn't
Dorit.
one of those languages though?
Ooh, Jelly Donuts here. Wait, you're starting watching The Raising Me 7? Oh, that's a lot so far away. Hi, Jelly. So they're talking about obviously Lisa Rinna, who's going through a pretty traumatic experience with her mom, Lois, and her mom is going to be going to hospice. We also, of course, get a moment where Dorit's talking about her therapy session and doing the EMDR, and the more she talks about it, the more I just don't believe her fully. I don't know what it is. Now, I have to say she does a decent job with feel like appearing to be traumatized at some points, but the amount that she talks about it and the how like everything has to be about it seems like it's being blown out of proportion or something. Like, I don't know. There's something fishy with it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. I feel like if I experienced something like that, it would also probably overtake all of my life too, but I probably wouldn't be living as much life as she is. Like I'd probably be staying home more. Um I wouldn't be going out as much. I wouldn't be doing as many things. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Okay. So maybe because she's like putting herself into situations, she's getting triggered more easily.
maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
But
It
also
just seems
maybe
like much.
yeah, no, I'm with you. It is fishy. It is fishy.
Something about it. So the next scene, another I might as well keep this up, another restaurant scene. And I don't know why Kyle doesn't want me to like her because I thought that
Seriously.
she was really unlikable in this scene. And for someone being like, you had to say something, you got to tell us what it is. Like, you're gaslighting us. And I'm like, that's a really big term to be throwing out to somebody who had an experience that you don't fully understand. To say gaslighting is a very manipulative tool that that like abusive people use to make you feel like you're crazy about situations that you know the truth for, but they've completely basically brainwashed you into believing that what you think is crazy. That's not what Crystal is doing at all. If anything, it's the other way around. Like, you guys are gaslighting her in the sense that like what she's feeling doesn't matter, doesn't exist, and is being blown over out of proportion, and that her feelings aren't valid. So I don't think either way it is actually gaslighting, but I would say it would be more so on the opposite side, on the flip side, than Crystal being the the perpetrator of that.
I agree, especially with the history of um, what happened last year with Crystal and Sutton, and Crystal expressing that she felt violated and everyone telling her that that wasn't the right thing. Like they were gaslighting her, I feel. Actually, somebody wrote an article in Vulture that came out today about how the housewives completely misuse this word and
Yeah.
that Sutton, that Kyle was totally misusing this word, and that Crystal, in fact, is not gaslighting anybody.
No, absolutely not gaslighting anybody.
I think she's being gaslit by these women.
Yes. Okay, so I'm like on point with Vulture Magazine's article.
Yeah.
It's true. They do order, I believe, Kyle, well, one of them, the Sonoma blackened salmon and beet salad. I mean, it sounds pretty good. No, it's Sonoma salad, sorry, and blackened salmon and beet salad.
Yeah.
Right. What's in it? Do you know what a Sonoma salad is? I didn't know. I didn't look it up.
No idea. I bet you it's probably just something specific to that menu.
I bet you it has like walnuts. I feel like it would have walnuts. Let's see.
And goat cheese?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I feel like I won't like it. Sonoma salad. Let's see what it is. I feel like it's no. Nope. No. So it's like a chicken salad. Well, it's a Sonoma chicken salad. Hold on. What's in a Sonoma salad? It keeps on saying Sonoma chicken salad, Sonoma chicken salad. Well, what is in a salad though? Let's see ingredients. Yeah, definitely it looks like canned like chicken salad.
Yeah.
Or like those big cubes of like processed chicken. That's what it looks like. Oh, you can make your own dressing, but it doesn't really look that great. It doesn't really tell you what's in it. It just keeps on telling me the dressing. Oh my god, it has strawberries. I hate strawberries in salads. I'm not a fan of strawberries in salads. I'm not a fan of blueberries in salad. I'm not a fan of watermelon in salad. I mean, I'll eat it, but like I'm not a fan. The only thing I can maybe stand is those mandarin oranges in some of like an Asian inspired salad.
Okay.
The others are gross. So it has a pistachios. That's winning. Cheese. It looks like maybe a blue cheese. I don't know, blue maybe.
Well, that is a lot going on in that salad.
I don't know what that is. That melon? Ew.
Is it melon or cheese? It looks like cheese on my screen.
No, but then there's also apples.
Oh wow.
Spinach. Okay, I don't know if this is a traditional one, but it looks like it has this like veg or fruits and with tomato or strawberries, blue cheese, apples, pistachios, spinach, mixed greens, and chicken. And whether that's cheese or melon, I don't know. It's not. I would never, ever order that salad unless I was trying to make a cheese border or something. I would just separate everything. Do you like fruit in your salad?
No, I like a savory salad.
Me too. I think I'm gonna actually write that as one of my questions for today. Like, do you like fruit in your salad?
Yeah.
So all I wrote down though about this was like Kyle is annoying, saying that Crystal is gaslighting the situation, but Crystal's not repeating it, and this actually really irritated me because she's not making it clear as to why she's being upset. She doesn't need to necessarily repeat these things again because what everybody's so upset about is the fact that it's making Sutton look like someone that she's not, or that she's a worse person than she's not. So how about you do something for your friend and explain to them why it was offensive, why you think that it was dark, why you like how you can learn from the situation. Her being like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything. We already dealt with it and I'm not going to say anything. And I'm like, just say something. Right? Explain it. I think she should explain it. No?
I mean, in a way, yes. And I think I like that she was like, I'm not going to say what it was. I feel like these women don't accept what she says, so it doesn't matter what she says. They're gonna make it into something that it's not, and they're not going to validate her feelings or her experience. And so, I think her approach, especially towards the end, is just like, okay, I'm just going to say sorry and not say anything else. And I think that it was totally fine for her to say, there was context to what I said, which is that, are you that girl? And those women need to accept that there was context and that what Crystal's saying is enough.
Fair. Yes, I agree with you in a normal environment that's would be how maybe things would be handled. But I also understand that these women are just going to keep on chipping away and they won't let it live unless they understand a little bit more. And I feel as though
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go
I was
ahead.
gonna
No.
say, like, I feel like all these women aren't actually that. They don't understand a lot of these racial issues, and they don't understand what's going on in society. And as a person that is representing a whole community, a whole race, I would hope that she would use this as a learning opportunity to just explain why she was feeling a certain type of way, because there's going to be millions of people that are siding with all these other women that are being like, oh, Crystal's bringing race into it and she's pointing fingers, but she's not explaining what she means by it. And so I just think that because it's on a television show and it's a platform for being able to share experiences and allow people maybe understand, even if they don't understand, maybe somebody watching might have a different perspective. I would have hoped that she would have just used that as an opportunity just to share so that people can learn, other people can learn.
I mean, I guess, but I feel like some of that was done last season and it wasn't taken very well. And I also feel like what's happening here is, rather than a woman of color who's saying I was hurt being taken seriously, what these women are more concerned about is the potential for
The
Sutton
implication.
to be called a racist. And this is the problem with white women in society in general, is that being called a racist is worse than experiencing racism. Problem. And that's a problem. And that's
No,
exactly what happened throughout this episode.
do you know what? Like it kind of just happened on Survivor, where there's a scene where I don't. Do you know the concept of Survivor?
Yeah.
So basically, we're getting to the merge, and so that was when the two tribes are about to come together. But right before that, they split and they go into two separate tribes, and then they see the second tribe that goes to tribal council sees two black people sitting there, and so the two black people in a row were out of like I think that four black people in the game were voted out back to back, and the two black people on this particular tribe were both supposed to be voting out the other black person. So at that particular tribal council, they both were like, I don't think I can do that. Like, I'm seeing people that look like me sitting there. I don't want to continue this trend. I don't want to continue this power, like this direction that we're going in. Like, I can't vote out this person. And then the one guy that made the plans to like vote out the black person was like, why are you thinking you're calling me a racist? And they're like, wait, sorry, I'm not calling you a racist. I'm saying that like, for whatever reason, there's two black people sitting there, and I don't want a third person sitting there, whether it be me or whether it be the other black person. I don't want to continue on with the trend that I'm seeing here. But they had to both turn around and like coddle him and be like, no, it's okay. We're not saying that. And like lean on him and make him feel okay with the fact that something that he was doing allowed the two black women to feel a certain type of way, and it
Yeah.
became all about him and him potentially being labeled. And they never even said it, not even close to. They were just saying what they were feeling and that they didn't want to contribute to that narrative.
And this is the problem with calling people out on their racism, is that it just becomes about them and their feelings rather than the person who is experiencing the racism or any kind of uncomfortable behavior.
It's very, yeah, very, very true. I do just wish that even if it was falling on deaf ears, that Crystal would just explain a little bit better as to what's going on. Maybe she will after the season, but I even want to have a little bit of understanding as to what she was experiencing, because I have like my own ideas as to what she must have been experiencing, but I would like to also learn as well how people can have different experiences from different cultures and backgrounds. So
I mean, I feel like it would be enough for me for Sutton to say, we had a conversation. I
Sutton
heard
or Crystal?
no Sutton for
Sutton?
Sutton.
Okay.
We had this conversation. I said some things that hurt Crystal, and I would like for them to not be repeated. And Sutton and I mean, Crystal and I have, made amends and we're moving forward. And everybody else in the group needs to respect that, but also respect that Crystal was valid in saying what she said. Because, last episode, Sutton said, I've moved on. I've learned a lot of things. I said things that I wouldn't say again. Like she said those things last episode. Why can't she just say that again? I feel like her claws came out today and I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're going to get to that for sure. So, without really resolving the situation, Crystal decides to appease Kyle a little bit and being like, I'll be more open to being more clear with my feelings, because Kyle is calling her passive aggressive, and it's actually not passive aggressive at all.
She has been very clear. I felt validated. This was a dark conversation. Those are very clear things. Those are not passive aggressive. And the women are still coming after her. So this is why I say Crystal can literally do no right in these women's eyes.
I mean, I guess for me, I wouldn't have these women be treating me that way. I would definitely have more bite and more bark than Crystal has. I just can't imagine feeling the way that Crystal has been feeling, and not being able to express myself clearly, and taking it. I would not be taking jabs from Kyle. Out of your
I
Kyle.
really relate to Crystal in this episode.
Not saying anything.
Yeah, because I often feel well, what do I say? They're already not. I often feel unheard. So it's a situation where, well, you're already not hearing me. What is the value of me just repeating myself if you're not hearing me? And I think I'm just used to shrinking myself in those situations.
Yeah, I mean,
I literally don't know what else to do.
I like the debate usually, and I like winning a debate. So I probably would do it until they conceded.
Yeah, but it's not for me, those things are not debates. I feel a certain way is not a debate. That's not for debate. That is how I feel. That is how I experience something. You either hear me or you don't. And if you're not hearing me, then I'm not going to repeat myself. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know that people do concede in those situations.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand their dynamic, because I can't imagine really being in that dynamic where I would have to play the role like Crystal is, just because I've never really had anybody treat me that way.
Right.
And maybe I'll shrink just to keep the peace, and roll my eyes later. But I just don't know if I would allow Kyle to be name calling me and getting away with it. I don't think so.
Right.
So they kind of agree to disagree, sort of, and just to switch the topic up, Kyle's like, so are you going to Mexico? And Crystal's like, yeah. Just awkward. So Diana shows up at Kyle's house, and I didn't realize that I wasn't the only one that noticed that the way that Kyle ran up to the door was just very weird. And there was another person that was listening to their recap called it out as well. And I was like, okay, it wasn't just me, because I was like, when she was going to the door, it was like, I'm like, who is that? And then I was like, it's Kyle.
What's going on? Yeah, I thought it was very weird too, and I was confused about who it was as well.
So, I mean, it's something that's popped in my head, and it's funny that you also noticed something strange about how she ran up to the door. For somebody, though, that is so rich, I would like to be more impressed with Diana's wardrobe.
You didn't like her North Face Gucci tracksuit?
I mean, yeah, but that, and then when they get to Mexico, her hat with her blouse with a big baggy.
I'm with you.
You could tell that it's expensive, but I don't know. I guess I'm not a big fan of expensive being your taste. Like, oh man, it cost $10,000. I'm like, but it's hideous.
Well,
Like,
it's like you never know what Kathy Hilton is wearing. Like you never know what brand she's wearing. I think Diana and Kathy are that kind of rich where like Dorit needs to show off because she doesn't have that much money. Whereas Kathy is like, she probably is wearing a $10,000 blouse, but you never know because
mhm.
it's not flashy. You can't see the
It's not
brand.
hideous. It's
Yeah, you can't
just,
see the logo. And I feel like Diana's probably the same. I think she is wearing super expensive stuff. You just can't tell because she's so rich that she doesn't need, like, I guess she shows off with her jewelry or something else. I don't know.
well, no, for me, I feel like she does look rich, but like, I think it's just hideous.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just ugly. Like, fine, wear that tracksuit. I mean, I think like I would probably like that tracksuit personally, but I guess the way that she styles it, it just looks so like looks like you got it like Urban Behavior. You know what I mean? Like it looks like a knockoff or something. Like it just it's not tacky in a good way, or it's not gaudy in a way that I like it on
Right,
her. Maybe on somebody else it might have the effect that like I like, but I feel like she buys things that look expensive but taste level is low.
right. Well, that's
In
her
my opinion.
Leah's fault.
Yes, it is Leah's fault. Blame Leah. Leah looks like she has a lot of good style though, so maybe it's Diana that's
Yeah.
choosing the things that are not cute. So we hear a bit about Paris's wedding. I did like that we hear that Paris goes like, "Yeah," when she gets I do's. I thought that was
Did
cute.
you not watch the Paris Hilton?
I started watching it. I think I watched like 3 or 4 episodes.
What? You didn't watch the whole thing?
No, I mean, TV started happening, and it was coming out. It wasn't coming out all at once, so I was like
It's
watching it, and
entertaining.
then I
It's
forgot.
worth watching the whole thing.
I felt like though he's really boring, and I was just watching it for her, but I think he's boring.
Oh, he's worse than boring. He's also manipulative and controlling.
Ooh, that's interesting. Sorry, like? How do you feel that?
Like the way he talks to her, like even the morning of their wedding, she's like, she's late, but it's Paris Hilton. She's late. She's doing what she's doing. And he's like, you gotta get going, you gotta get going, you gotta get going. He's very like, actually, Eleanor and I talked a lot about this because we were watching the show together. He's possessive. Like he wants to be with her all the time. He wants her nearby. Like I just found it to be really uncomfortable. And he's very boring. But
um,
so who am I to?
well, she's like
There was
she's
one.
what 41 years old, 42, so she's an adult enough.
Yeah, I guess.
To like she's had some bad relationships, so maybe this is more stable for her. What's
Yeah.
his sign? She's Aquarius. What is his sign? What's his name? I don't remember his name.
Carter Room.
What's Carter Room's book? Oh, he's also Aquarius. Interesting. Interesting. That's probably why they get along though. So we might not see like his oomph, but like on an intellectual level or like humor level, they might get along. And we just
Yeah.
don't really see it. It doesn't translate on TV, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Because like Crystal's also Aquarius and she doesn't translate on TV.
Right.
So maybe they're just they're not with company that like allows them to be exciting. Ooh. So we also hear that Kyle's daughter Farah also got engaged, but she didn't want to share that at the wedding. That's polite for sure. And then we hear the horrifying not spoiler. Oh my god, horrifying trigger warning here. Story about Diana carrying a baby after her other baby was born, and it had died with inside her, and then she ended up having to fell out of her, which I was just like I can't even imagine that. That's so traumatic.
Right.
I am happy though that she's still wanting to maybe have another child, but like that's part of womanhood that I've never experienced, and I think that would be just so
Horrifying.
terrifying. Yeah, horrifying. So I thought it was just a weird whole, like, I don't know why we needed that whole scene with Diana and Kyle, but maybe it's like it's showing us something that's going to be happening later. I'm not sure, but the whole scene wasn't really necessary, I didn't think.
Yeah, I agree. Or maybe for that story, Diana's story, to humanize her a little bit because she's really like not likable.
Yeah, I was more intrigued by her the first 2 episodes that she was on, and then now I'm kind of like, "Okay, is that it? Oh, okay. You might not be
Yeah.
fun. You might not be the Leo you think you are. You might actually be the Virgo."
Yeah.
Maybe. So we see Garcelle and Sutton at another restaurant, of course. What exactly was Sutton doing? So she orders so she was a Kettle One on the rocks with grapefruit fruit juice on the side. Um, and then when she gets it, she's using chopsticks to take out the ice and put the ice in her vodka, or was it out of both? Like, I didn't understand what she was doing,
Well,
and
I
then
thought
to fill
she,
up the glass with grapefruit juice.
I thought she ordered Kettle One on the rocks, grapefruit juice on the side, but it came
Yeah.
Kettle One neat, grape
Oh,
rocks.
right. Yes. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. That makes sense. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And this is not an uncommon thing where somebody orders gin or vodka or tequila with the mixer on the side because they
Uh,
want their own proportion. And I think that's fine. She knows what
I
she likes.
do. I do think that's fine, but I just thought it was just bizarre that she was removing ice cubes
I mean, it
with
was
the
bizarre how
chopsticks.
she was doing it for sure. Yeah.
And also why they didn't bring it the way that she wanted it properly. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that too. Yeah.
And unless it was for like the show, and like, can you bring it wrong so I can do this silly thing? I just didn't understand. Like, I thought it was very common to, as like you said, ordering the mixer on the side. I just didn't understand why the grapefruit the juices in general don't usually come with ice in it,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's usually,
No, they don't.
unless you say it can have
Yeah.
ice. Um,
I think the server just got the on the rocks in the wrong one.
or like she punched it in and maybe the service bartender read it wrong.
Yeah, one of those people read it wrong. But
So
also, sorry, Sutton knows how to use chopsticks properly. So why is she using chopsticks not properly on the ice?
maybe it was slippery. I don't know. The whole thing was bizarre. Like,
Yeah, she knows how to use chopsticks. She could use them the way she uses them for sushi on the ice.
we should ask her. We should be like, Sutton, what happened there with the ice cubes? Can you please
Yeah,
let us know?
let's invite her on.
Please, please. So they get to the story again about, well, Garcelle is the one that brought this up, which is like also a little bit annoying because later on, Crystal's getting all the blame for bringing it up, but Garcelle literally was like, well, I feel like she would have done wrong no matter what she said. And Crystal's like, well, no, what she said was kind of dark, and I feel like I was warranted in what I was saying. Anyway, so Garcelle did start this whole
Yeah,
thing,
good, and she's
and
continuing it.
yeah, and I'm not sure if I agree with her stance on it, but we'll get to that soon. So Sutton retells the story of her at her home, and they do give us a flashback, so we get a little bit more context now, where she was saying that she has children, I believe, of different ethnicities in her hot tub or pool or something like that. And so she was naming them, so labeling them like the white one, the black one, the Chinese one, the redhead, and saying that they're all welcome in my house or in my pool or whatever hot tub. I can understand how that would be offensive, right? Because if somebody was just like saying like I'm so inclusive because I have the black one in my pool, it seems a little bit of like charity work, or it seems as though I'm doing my good deed. Do you see that I have a black girl in my pool?
Yeah,
Because we don't care about race. Black people are allowed in our pool. Like,
yeah,
I can understand how it seems a little problematic. It kind of when Kathy Hilton, or one of the housewives said, um, I have a black housekeeper. It's like,
Right.
so you have hired help that is
Dorit
black. So
Dorit said that. Dorit said that.
of course she did. So I can understand, and we didn't see the full conversation, how Crystal may feel as though Sutton is that person that doesn't see color and feels as though having all colors of the rainbow come to her house, that actually just makes all racism go away and everything's great. And
Yeah.
so I do understand that it wasn't a very nuanced perspective that Sutton is having around race. She feels as though because she's in the company of different backgrounds and races, that means that she's not a racist. I don't think she's a racist, but she's not anti-racist. She's not
Yeah.
supporting, people of color. So I understand a little bit where Crystal's coming from. What was your perspective? Now
I
we got
agree.
more context.
No, I agree with everything you said. I don't actually have anything to add to that. I agree with everything you said.
Well, do you agree though with the fact that Garcelle? Oh, I don't understand. Like that's it.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
think, yeah, I think this is Garcelle. Well, I probably think that Sutton. I think that Sutton probably maybe didn't retell the whole story. Like I think there might be a couple of things in there, like nuanced things that Crystal picked up on that Sutton didn't, share with Garcelle. And I think that Garcelle maybe is like
Supporting her
trying
friend.
to, yeah, support her friend Sutton, but also, and like you said last week, feel threatened by Crystal, but also maybe is a product of having, reached this place where she's very wealthy and she's trying to fit in with this group of white women, and she feels like she wants to distance herself from the race conversation, even though sometimes she starts that conversation because it's it's too uncomfortable to have with these women, or it doesn't serve her to have this conversation with these women. You know what I mean?
I just feel though that Garcelle should be a little bit of an ally here because Crystal isn't trying to take down Sutton, I don't think. I think that she was expressing her opinion on how she might be seeing things that were slightly problematic. It's kind of like when it's happened to me thousands of times, and I feel like Sutton would be a woman that could do something like this, where I was working at a restaurant and I had a seemingly affluent person from the southern states come in and was like, "Oh, wow, your English is so good."
Wow, I'm sorry you experienced that.
You know what I mean? And they think that they're complimenting me,
Yeah.
but there is a bit of a thinking that I can't even explain it, but you understand exactly what I
Yeah.
mean
Oh
when
yeah.
I say that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's similar kind of scenario with like, are you that girl that doesn't see color? Oh, it's kind of like there's still a hierarchy of classism that's kind of coming in with Sutton being so hospitable to her lower class friends. It
Yeah.
just seems a little bit, uh, yeah, I don't know exactly the word that I want to use. If I was writing a paper, I'd probably articulate it better. But I actually understand where Crystal's coming from,
Oh yeah, me
and
too, 100%.
I wish that a Garcelle was actually a little bit more open minded to what Crystal was experiencing because I was on Crystal's case when Garcelle was experiencing a little bit of bullying from the women and them not seeing her perspective, and I was like, "Crystal, why aren't you standing up for Garcelle?" And
Yeah.
so the fact that the only two women of color are not kind of supporting them each other with the dynamics of these women that don't have any sort of understanding of what their humanized life experience has been, I wish that there was a little bit more camaraderie here.
I agree. And I think we saw this as well in Salt Lake City with Jen and Mary, you know?
Why couldn't they be supportive of each other
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean,
bit?
I think this is like a product of divide and conquer where, you know, white supremacy, even in these situations of friend groups, plays out in a certain way. And yeah, that's just how it works. It's harder to resist that and be an ally or be on the same team
Yeah.
for some people, I think.
And also, I wouldn't be surprised, I might have mentioned this before on another episode, was that they're probably both used to being the only person of color in a
Exactly.
situation
Exactly. Yeah.
and not necessarily knowing how to be supportive for someone else when they're usually just fending for themselves. So,
Yeah.
so the last thing though that Garcelle says is like, I would watch your back. And so I'm still going on with the narrative that maybe Garcelle is a little bit jealous of Crystal, maybe getting a little bit more friendship time with Sutton. And she's just kind of putting a little wedge in there because Sutton is her safe zone with these women.
I agree.
Definitely interesting dynamic. So we learned that Lois, Rena's mom, has passed away in November. Really sad. Lois definitely was always on the TikTok, and like we learned later that she loved being famous and was always curious about, how many likes did you get on this post and that she was in. And so I thought that was quite sweet. Really unfortunate that she had like a no resuscitation, no feeding tube. Like if she wasn't going to be back to herself, that she wanted to go to hospice and just lay to rest. So really challenging for anybody to be able to go through that. So I'm putting out all the love out for anybody that's had to experience great loss at any time in their life. It's very, very hard to deal with. So I'm very impressed that Lisa is able to handle it so well. Like, definitely would be very hard. So Kyle tells Erica what happened with Lois over the phone. But Lisa decides to go on the girls' trip, even though, she's in mourning at this point because she thinks that her mom would want her to be there. And this goes back to, I think it was episode 1 when PK was like, you don't want to replace a good time with a sad time, or like don't do a good time because you're wallowing in a sad time. So I do think it was good for her to go, and then she could do whatever she wanted. She doesn't want to hang out. She wants to stay in her room. I think it is a good thing to get out of that environment and kind of shake things up a little bit. So I am also happy that she went on the girls' trip to Mexico.
Yeah.
They take a private plane, which was kind of fancy and fun.
Yeah.
And this is where Diana was wearing the hideous of hideous outfits, I found. So it was the hat with the voluminous blouse with like this baggy kind of ruffly skirt. She's probably wearing running shoes, but I didn't even remember what her footwear was. I wasn't a fan though.
I don't even remember it.
It
So
was very hideous. Hideous, hideous, hideous. So in Mexico, obviously Diana's people go ahead of everybody and to set up her room. I mean, I guess if I was super rich, I'd have people do that as well, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what it would be like to travel with an entourage. I guess I'd have to really like them. Like to always be spending time with these people.
you would have to really like them. Yeah.
I thought it was funny though in the car. I forget who said it, but they're like all the awkwardness is in the other car, and so that
Right.
being Crystal, Erica, Garcelle, and Sutton. That is an awkward car. Like all those people really don't get along.
Yeah.
Garcelle calls out Dorit, and like perfect timing. We get the receipts from the editors. I bet Dorit is speaking Spanish, and she's like, "¿Cuánto tiempo?" And he's like, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He was was not having her speak Spanish to him. It was quite funny. So they get a welcome cocktail, which I think was fermented coconut and
Ricea. I don't know what that is.
racia. So yeah, racia is made from the agave plant, I believe.
Is it a
It's part
spirit?
Yeah, I believe it's a spirit. I think it's like it's kind of like tequila, but using another part of it. I forget what I looked it up and I forgot now.
Ricea is a distilled spirit originating in the southwestern part of the Mexican state of Jalisco.
Yeah,
Like
like tequila
tequila,
and mezcal.
it is a product of the agave plant.
I don't think I've ever tried it, but I would because I'm a tequila girl, so I like mezcal. So might have to give that a try next time I'm in Mexico. Oh, DM rocks. Yes, of course. I definitely felt bad for Lisa. She does really seem to love her mom, and she definitely highlighted her mom a lot on her social media and in the show a little bit too. So definitely. So basically they get ready and they're having some dinner on the beach. I didn't notice any outfits, but did any of the outfits stand out to you?
No.
Exactly. No. Why don't they? I want to see them look fabulous. Like, what did you bring to Mexico? I feel like I dress up more when I go to Mexico than they do.
There.
I know that they're rich and like I'm not right now. But like I don't know. I like dressing up and looking pretty. So they have dinner on the beach. Garcelle orders correct. She orders how I would probably order it. She got a Casamigos neat with a Corona. That's like I love beer and tequila. Like beer, just
Right.
sipping and chilling on it, getting the little bit of the buzz of the tequila, sip a little beer, refreshing.
Do you like
I
amigos?
I do. It's too sweet for you?
I've never had it. It's not a tequila that we typically carry. That's George Clooney's one, right?
Mm-hmm. At the restaurant that I worked at with Eleanor, we had it there, and the owner loved it. And so even when I worked in the beer gardens for the rugby games, there was a stand for Casamigos. So like every single weekend, I would have Casamigos, and it's a tasty tequila. It's a little bit sweet. It has kind of like a vanilla beanie kind of essence to it, but the reposado is quite nice.
Okay.
It's a sipping tequila for sure.
Okay.
It's very aromatic though. It's not as yeah, it's aromatic. So it's very specific. You're having Casamigos for sure by
Okay.
taste and smell. Two couple people got a spicy margarita, Erica and probably Dorit. And Rina got a Grey Goose soda
No,
with
it was
2
Erica
limes.
and Kyle. Sorry.
It was Kyle, you're right. What did Dorit get? Oh no, Dorit wasn't there yet. Dorit wasn't there yet because she had a suite on the ground floor that
Right.
was traumatic for her. So
Was
they had to change her location. And she showed up to the dinner table late. So I also noticed though that Lisa Rinna ordered her tenderloin well done. Now I don't eat meat, but when I did eat meat, I never get well done.
She
And I was
did?
like,
I didn't notice
yeah,
that.
she ordered her tenderloin filet well done. So Rinna decides to poke the bear, and it's like, I've been gone for a week. What's been going on? What did I miss?
Yeah.
It's just like crickets, silence, 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 silence.
Yeah. I wonder how much editing drew out the silence though.
A lot, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we have Sutton come in with like, we know my character and my family, and we come from a place of love. And she kind of repeated this over and over and over and over and over again. And doth best too much, Miss Sutton. Like, if you're trying so hard to show us that you're not racist, what are you actually hiding? Because
Yeah. Exactly.
people that aren't racist don't have to prove it to anybody.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
if they do something that it was mistakenly taken in a bad way, they would apologize for it and not try to prove that they're not racist. So I'm just wondering if there's just a little bit of truth that Sutton isn't willing to look at. Not calling her a racist, but saying that she might have some tendencies that are not fully supportive.
Right.
And she might not even, it might be unknown. It might be subconscious. It might be biases. It might be how she grew up. It might be things that she can't even recognize because she's in it. But she wants to show, we always say show don't tell, but not, you don't want to prove things. Like
Yeah.
you just being who you are should be enough. You don't need to tell me by proving it to me.
Yeah,
What was it?
exactly.
Someone would say liars prove, and truth tellers just tell, or something like that. I can't remember what the saying is. And she's
Okay.
always proving it. And so to me, I'm wondering if she knows that there's a kernel of truth in what uh Crystal is saying, maybe deep down.
Right.
Just saying. Then Crystal decides to put her foot in her mouth and make things about something completely different, because she says, like, like the Rorschach, trying to make an example, and they're like, oh, what's the Rorschach? I can't pronounce it. And she's like, they're talking like, oh, the blot test, and she's like, oh, sorry, I know these are big words. I was
right.
like, girl, you want these people to be on your side, and then you're going to dig them and basically say that they're stupid. Like, it may have come out just the wrong way, but like, you got to be careful. You got to be careful, Crystal, because Garcelle picked up on that and was like, oh, I know big words. And like, you see in her confessional, like, oh, I want me to start saying some big words to you. Like,
Yeah.
so that's not a way to get people on your side. Unfortunately,
Not at
Crystal,
all.
I did gasp when she said that.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
yeah.
and then of course Erica needs to get in a conversation and have it be all about her being like, oh, you guys didn't give me the benefit of the doubt, and it came back to her last year with a completely different situation where she's being investigated by like like the government, or like, I don't know, people higher powers than at this table, and people are speculating as to if they're going to be implicated into whatever mess she's in. Like, very different situation, Erica, but she does call out the facts of the matter, what the underlining problem is about what Crystal said is that Sutton is worried that she is being perceived as a racist. And so Erica calling that out, I was like, okay, thank you. Thank you for like us not dancing around this issue anymore. And Sutton should just have said, kind of like what you said, like, yes, I feel like what you have been saying has been implicating me as a racist, and I really do not, that's not how I feel in my heart, and I thought that we got over this. And so if there's more that needs to be said, can we have a conversation about it, because I don't want to be perceived in that way, and if something that I said did, I would like to fix that and heal from it.
Right.
Yeah. But she decides to get pretty catty about it. And then she starts coming at Crystal, being like, friends of hers told her that she likes to find like the top dog in a situation and then attack everybody else. Like, I didn't fully understand what she was saying, but
yeah, I didn't either. So yeah, I'm confused as well.
And making up lies about her friends, and I'm just like, I need more proof about that, because that is also, I don't think, a good thing to say about somebody without giving the details. So I was annoyed with Sutton this episode, unfortunately.
Yeah, me too. I was very annoyed with Sutton.
Very annoyed. I do wish that they could just have a conversation and both explain their sides of the story in a way where they're not both on the defense. They're just listening and with an open heart. Like, that's what I would say. If someone wants to be not racist, then she should be listening to somebody of another race and how they feel.
Exactly. All of them should.
Just an open heart. Because if you have an open heart to other people's experiences that are different than yours, and you can have empathy for it, even if you haven't lived that experience, then I can see that there's some healing and some growth going on. But the fact that you can't even fathom that somebody might mistaken something that you might have said or done that are of another race without it implicating you as being a racist, and that's what the issue is, it's problematic. It is problematic. Crystal's right. It is problematic. Yeah, all of it. Exactly. All of it. Well, I think we got through the episode. Was there anything else that we didn't talk about that you would like to mention?
No, I'm just really not looking forward to this being dragged out all season.
It might switch because it seems like next episode things are going to get a little bit heated with other people. So, I think it might subside. Maybe.
I'm
Well,
I'm
actually, it doesn't subside, but we see Erica siding with Crystal and like pumping Crystal up and being like, you know what she was saying about you, like, so that could be interesting to see. Like, new lines are being divided, and Crystal's going to take
right,
the Erica Girardi side,
right.
maybe, which is interesting. Well, that's it for this episode, everybody. Do you have anything going on, Rachna, that you would like people to see or follow you at?
Not right now,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering if you've been following the whole Lisa Rinna, Kathy Hilton, Patrick Summers thing
A
on.
little bit. I don't know. I feel like it's Lisa is trying to shift the focus off of her husband being called as gay, and she's trying to make some other big situation happen. I don't know where the truth is, but it just seems a lot of shadiness is going on, and I don't know if I believe Lisa Rinna and Patrick Summers.
Right.
That also seems like it could be a little bit of a setup.
Yeah, I think so too.
So that's all I kind of really know, but I don't really know much more.
Okay, cool. All right,
Well,
thank you. How
no
about you? What do
problem.
you have going on this week?
I mean, tomorrow I'll be going live with the boys talking about the challenge. Things are starting ramping up, so I'll be going live tonight later on at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk about Love Island Season 8, Love Island UK Episode 4. So join us then. Please subscribe to the channel so you can be part of all these conversations, and like this video. And let us know if you know more details about this Lisa Rinna, Kathy Hilton, Patrick Summers drama, if you know where the truth of the matter is here, or what are your opinions of the situation. So let us in the comments and we can continue this conversation offline. Other than that, we'll see you next Thursday at noon. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Have a good week.
Take care. Bye.